Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to welcome all of you back here again. This is part three here, and remember on the part two, I left off with this right here. This is Ntrepid Global. This is the company that was, like I said in part two, just to refresh your memory, is that this company does facial recognitions and much, much more. It's not just only that; they also do controlling of how many people are with them and how many people are not, and doing by computer analytics of doing computer by this computer software that has the ability of doing what you call weeding out by expressions in each one's facial recognition on how this person is either going to be a part of the system or like a puppet. You know, and I have videos that I'm going to make. I'm going to make an hour-long video documentary on this subject, but the problem is I'm not going to be able to upload the hour-long on YouTube because they restricted me from doing it because they say I'm copywritten, violations, which this is just another ploy of covering up the truth by removing my videos, because I never use any copyright materials whatsoever without the consent of the person, and if it's something I'm using that's it's in fair use, I'm going to this is the whole purpose that I even make videos, because it's in fair use. It's only for news. They're the ones putting it out there. I'm just improvising and amplifying what they're saying openly. So anyhow, this is like I said, this is the company here, Ntrepid Global. They're the ones that's doing the facial recognition analytics, and they're also doing expression analytics, and they do have contracts by the U.S. government. They are also the same company as Ntrepid. You see, they notice how they spelled the name different, and we're going to get to that later. But anyhow, let me go and move on real quick, because I want to get all this done as quickly as possible into this video here, because I don't want to have to make another video. It takes too long here. Anyhow, you remember the idea slogan, the logo that Anonymous uses, okay? They use the word "We are Legion." And I kept saying, wait a minute, let me go find out if there's a computer software called We Are Legion or anything that would link me to, any kind of idea that would represent who these people are. And these are huge people, man. And I was sitting up there looking at it. There is a software that's called Legion. And this is all part of the same company, partners with the same company, even though they don't show their names here, because remember, it's all about trying to stop you from connecting the dots. But I have always said in all of my videos, and out of the 23 videos that I have made, I have told everybody that these corporate companies you all see in partnerships on each one of their websites is actually not separate entities. They are all one corporate power. But they remove information on there so that you cannot link them all together in finding the head of each one of them, or the leader of that organization or of those corporate powers. So anyhow, this is what you see, and they go on here, why Legion Softwares, you see here Legion Spaceworks, Legion Evac. What these people do is they control pedestrian in the cities and in metropolitan areas and out in the country, train stations. They control the traffic at train stations. They control everything out in, when it comes to out in the wide open in the public. Methodology, legions of studios, and AIMSUN. And it just goes on and on and on. Just this just gives you an idea. When you go through here, you just go and you click on right here, and just go down these articles right here. And this will give you the idea, and you can read more about this particular software and what this company does. But it's all a part of control. Remember that. It's not about guiding traffic. It's about controlling the people in that traffic. So this is when you look at that, you'll understand that more. Remember, we talked about this earlier in the last segment, part 2 video. We talked about this right here, showing you that this is truly the anonymous organization. That they're not the same. They're not that these people that claim to be anonymous, that they're truthers, they're for our well-being. These people are a fraud. They are CIA agents, and you will see here, as you can read. It says where I have it highlighted, which I'm going to unhighlight it so I can read it. Okay, Lance Cottrell continued long as the president's founder, the chief scientist of the Anonymizer until 2008. The Lance Cottrell connected with Richard Hollis Helms, the former CIA agent and the CEO and Abraxas Corporations, and sold him Anonymizer. Incorporations M. Cottrell, then became the chief scientist, chief technology officer of both companies. It was also in 2008 that Anonymizer Inc. First started taking out loans on its intellectual properties. In 2010, Ntrepid Corporations was formed, and Mr. Cottrell became the chief scientist. Today, he is employed by Ntrepid Corporations and Anonymizer Incorp. And is a consultant of the TI Global Incorp. Now, as you see here, this is not the first documentation. The entire foundation of Ntrepid Securities and the entire foundations of Ntrepid, all these people here were literally CIA agents, and they were founded as former CIA agents. But like I said before, there's no such thing as formal. Okay. Their company began at the same exact time as the Anonymous began. This is the Anonymous group in 2003, and you can see that they all claim to be this secret elite group, but an hacktivist group. But these are all staged hacktivist groups to set you up, ladies and gentlemen. These are all staged propaganda news to make it be pointed in your direction as being the perpetrator, the criminal itself. So anyhow, so quickly going through here. Also, Reuters where they claim that this guy here is an anonymous member and he worked for Reuters. This is a fall guy. This guy was not an anonymous, and if he was, he wouldn't, he would not be caught. They definitely, because he's a part of the system, but they had to have a fall guy, so in order to make it look legitimate. So here you go. They even went all the way out to make it look like this guy literally was a part of the member of attacking cyber and making cyber attacks. Blah blah blah. You see, they even went there and made even a legal charge against this guy, a federal charge against him, and even though he was not a part of them. He was just made the fall guy. This is the in the Ntrepid blog spot. And what they're talking about here, DA can't break the Apple iMessage encryption. Okay, now they're talking about this right here. They tried to blame Anonymous for the hacking into Apple II IDs situation and grabbed 12 million Apple IDs. The FBI agents were investigating Anonymous and laptops that had been hacked. But here's the problem, is that they were all a part of them. DEA can't break into iPad. And they even announced it on the Forbes News. I have another document where they admitted that they were not even involved, that Anonymous was not involved in this. And here you go. This shows you the connection to Ntrepid again. See, remember, in the EMC and all these other corporate companies, Circle and all that, are all linked to Israel. Well, this shows you all these companies are all directly linked to Israel. Here again, they created inside of Israel fake protesters such as Anonymous, Israel Ntrepid peacemakers, and these were all anarchists and activists, so that they can make it look like there's a legitimate anarchy against their policies. And this just goes on and on and on and on. Okay, anarchist against the wall. You can see it here. Again, more prosecutes activists and anarchists against the wall, and it goes on and on and on. But it just shows you it's all a part of the Ntrepid security spy ring. This was an actual document taken from the WikiLeaks website, showing you Ntrepid here, presentations of the Ntrepid. You see how they spelled the word? The same thing, and it's all the same word, Ntrepid iOS, and it goes on, and it just talks about how that they are all a part of this little spy ring, creating fake news and fake enemies. Again, Anonymous. This is a video. I'm going to put this up there. This is from the Anonymizer from the Ntrepid. Ntrepid, excuse me, and I'm going to put this up there so you can see all these videos and showing you how that they go and hack into other people's computers and how that they work through it, and how what they try to do is they try to sell their company and making where their company does encrypted codes where it's only you that knows information, which this is BS. Okay, but it gives you 3 different videos. There's much more videos out there for this, but I'm just giving you the breakdown. Anonymous, Operation Trapwire, and Spy on All of the People, blah blah blah. This is just showing you how Anonymous is a part of the game. Okay, and it's just giving you more reading material. Let me get out of this real quick and then move on over here to this next this link here. Now, the Ntrepid created the megaphone. Okay, I don't know if y'all have ever heard of this. The megaphone is what Israel's military and psyops. Let me go ahead and show you here. The Israeli internet megaphone psychological war propaganda machine is being used against the Not My Tribe groups. Okay, in other words, people that are not a part of the Israeli groups, part of the Israeli system. And there you see how they use the megaphone system. They have created all of this for them, showing you again more of this being conducted by the Israeli government and the United States government. Because remember, United States is not being ran by American citizens. It's being ran ultimately by Israel. So whenever you see American involved, only think in your mind is not American citizens. It is Israel that is controlling and operating the United States. As they go on and admit it, and this is on the Raw story, okay, the exclusive military personas software costs millions used for classified social media activities. In other words, planted criminal activities on people's computers to demonize people. And look who's ahead of it? Right there, Sitcom. Remember we talked about this, that Sitcom is one who gave the contracts to Ntrepid to conduct this social media propaganda. And this is where they all come in together. And again, okay, we had that printed twice here. I'm sorry about that, guys. Anyhow, revealed United States manipulates social network sites, but it's not new. Okay, this goes on, and it's not the first time that the United States has done this, because it is Israel, and this is just showing you more information on that subject. But anyhow, so now that we showed you all the links to all the events and showing you the proof that Anonymous is not a real legitimate hacker group, but they are a hacking group that works for this company, Ntrepid. They are all CIA agents contracted by the U.S. government and by Israel to conduct fake news, phantom enemies, but it's all to make it all turn back around against you. You are the enemy. And you are the one that they are putting and planting information into your computer to make you look guilty that you are doing all these crimes. When they go after your banking system and they shut it completely down, they're going to make it look like it's you that did it. And because they consider everybody that is a protester, anarchist against government, or anarchist against conspiracy theories and blah, 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 are all considered to be these members, combatant enemies, and you fill in the rest of the blank. This is the whole purpose behind the game, guys. It is to demonize you, criminalize you, and justify your elimination because you know the truth and you tell it and you express it to other people. And that's how and why they want to eliminate you, because they know you're not going to go a part of the game. You're not going to go along with it. And just as well as I'm not going to go along with it. But anyhow, so as you see, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very serious game, guys. I wasn't joking when I said all this, that all these corporate companies were all tied to Sandy Hook. I've showed you how they were tied to Sandy Hook. You have to look beyond the open scope and look at it into a military strategic design. And this is how that you can see these corporate companies were all directly involved in the staged events of Sandy Hook. They're involved in the staged hook and that caused the collapse of Cyprus. And guys, that was a staged event. That was 100% staged event, just like South Korea was a staged event, and it was done by Israel, not by China, not by Anonymous, by Israel. And all these corporate companies work together in doing so. And by saying that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you all understand clearly that, and I hope this makes the last video on this subject. It is real, and they are lying, and they're doing it for a reason, to destroy our lives. That's how evil these people are. And by saying that, I'll catch you on the next round on whatever next comes about, and I will make another video on it if it comes out in the open. Y'all take care. Thank you, guys.